You know what? I actually, yeah, I thought he had really good stuff, and just that inning got away from us, but it was just a bunt base hit and a couple flares, and for me, the way he was throwing the baseball, he got ahead 0-2, then left another pitch, the flare, then he gives up another base hit to Contreras. So it's one of those things where I thought Julio was throwing the baseball well. And, you get to a spot where I think the stuff is real good, and he's victim of some plays we didn't make for him. And, he got Russell to fly out weakly in his first at-bat, so I just felt that, you got to give Julio an opportunity to make pitches, and, left a 2-0 fastball up out over.
And over here to the right.
Dave, how surprised were you that replay wasn't overturned, and how big of a shift do you think that is? It would have been the first run of the game.
Yeah, you know what? I was pretty certain that, it was going to get reversed. But, those guys in New York, they got a job to do, and obviously they saw it the other way.
And over to the left.
Just following up on that, Dave, from a standpoint of momentum and the way we know that it can turn a game, do you look back at this game as a game that could have been very different if Adrian is safe, or one that ultimately was the 8-run game that it ended up being? Yeah,
momentum, I'm a big believer in momentum, and certain plays, you look back at tonight, some plays shifted the momentum, and, to get a lead, would have been big for us. And I thought, we put ourselves in a position to get to Lackey, but, he escaped. And, credit to those guys that, once we kept them in the ball game, they got the hits when they needed.
And over here to the right.
Dave, Turner getting picked off in the first inning and 4 errors tonight. I know some were overthrows, but was it disappointing to kind of not play a clean game out there today?
It happens. It happens, and obviously it's more magnified, in the postseason. But we haven't had a game like that in a long time, and so there are a few plays that could have went a certain way, or plays that we could have made that could have changed the outcome of the game, but it didn't. It wasn't to be. And so I think for us, it's just one of those things you gotta brush off and get ready to go tomorrow.
And all the way in the back left.
Dave, obviously losing's never easy, but the brushing off, turning the page, is it a little bit easier when it goes down like this as opposed to maybe a nail biter?
Well, you know what, I think in the 4 games, I thought, the first 3 games I thought we played good baseball, and today again it just got away from us. But I think that for us tomorrow we're at home, and we expect Kent to go out there and throw well. And I expect for us to play a much cleaner game.
And again in the back right.
Dave, just to triple, quadruple check, nothing that happened today changed your mind about who's starting tomorrow's game?
No, it's going to be Kenta.
And over here to the left, Bill.
Dave, along those lines, given that it worked in the division series, just why not use that strategy again with Clayton, short rest, and maybe have him for a deciding game?
Well, I think that tomorrow isn't a deciding game. It's not an elimination game, and I think the accumulation of of his usage over the last 10 days plays a factor in our decision. So I think those are kind of the reasons why we're not going with Clayton tomorrow.
Okay, we'll take a couple more for Dave right here in the right front.
Dave, did Clayton come to you at all and express a desire to want to pitch?
Yeah, he said, he's done what he's always done in saying that he'll do whatever, we ask of him. So I think that for us, thinking through it, the best thing for us is to have him pitch Game 6 and have Kenta to go tomorrow. And tomorrow, with the guys that we have at the back end of the pen, I feel real good about the position we're in.
And over here, Tyler.
Dave, you believe in Kenta, obviously, but the last few starts have been tough. What are you going to look for from him to make sure that he's on his game tomorrow?
I think for Kenta, it's just about getting ahead of hitters. And I think that, if he can get ahead of hitters and expand, he's really good. But, I think with any pitcher, if you start working behind and hitters start smelling blood, it gets to be a little bit tougher. So, Kenta's, like I said, Kenta's pitched in a ton of big baseball games in his career. So we expect him to go out there and compete and get outs.
Do we have a last one for Joe? Over here to the left, or last 2?
Hey, Dave, just looking back at the Game 1 lineup against Leicester, you had all your right of platoon guys in there, Kendrick, Puig, Ruiz, and Kike as well. Do you anticipate all four being in there tomorrow as well?
I think that the first three, and we'll be in there: Kike, Howie, Yasiel, and I'm going to think through the catching. But it's what Carlos does for us in the batter's box behind the plate, working with the pitchers, is outstanding. Also, the value of plugging him in somewhere to match against their left-handers is huge value for us as well. So I think that I'm going to weigh those decisions and ultimately come up with a lineup.
And last one over here to the right.
Dave, just because of how fundamentally solid your team has played all year, just watching the mistakes tonight, was it surprising for you?
It was. You know what? I think that, just the things on the bases and, the overthrows and catching the baseball. This is very, very uncharacteristic of our group. So, but like I said, over the course of 162 plus games, it's going to happen, and it hasn't happened very often with our guys. So, just in that clubhouse, I think that we're just guys going to turn the page, and I'm certain we'll be ready to go tomorrow.
Okay.